Hey guys, I used to be a flight attendant for Virgin Australia.
And we're going to run you through a few differences, what it was like to apply for Virgin and what it was like to fly for Emirates, and pretty much what our interview days looked like.
See, I applied for Virgin during COVID actually, so for me, I had a little bit of a different kind of experience as to what it is nowadays, I feel like, but I still feel like it's quite similar in the sense, you know, all the stages that you go through to get the job. So yeah, one day during COVID, I was just at home and I saw an ad for...
I love that. I literally love that.
Honestly, I was like, it was during lockdown and I was like, okay, this is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna come out of lockdown, like, hope like that I can get this job. So yeah, I saw the ad and I applied. I was like, okay, hoping for the best with all of this. But the thing was, I knew a lot of people went for these jobs. So I was like, oh, like, who knows what's gonna happen? Because in the past, I had actually applied for Jetstar a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, but that was before COVID. No, but you know.
They missed out.
Yeah. Yep, did not get it. So I was hoping for the best this time round. So yeah, I did my resume, I filled out like a CV, I did the whole like online application thing and just submitted my application and hoped for the best.
Did you write a cover letter as well?
I did.
Yeah, did you have to do a video application?
Not initially, not at that stage. So at that stage it was just do all that kind of bit, and then I remember it was actually only a couple of days after that I did all that. I remember they sent through a link to do like an online video.
So you did it after. So like when I applied for Virgin, this is something I remember forever because I was terrified. They wanted you to do a video application. So
at the start.
At the start. So you had to be like, hi, like my name. I have never filmed anything, and I might just put a little clip of it right now.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, my name's Amanda King and I'm here to share with you my interests of why I want to become a cabin crew member at Virgin Airlines Australia. I understand the role as a cabin crew member is going above and beyond just serving food and drinks, but confidently making our customers feel safe, welcomed and important. I strongly feel that my experience in my current role would align perfectly with what is sought after as a cabin crew member.
Yeah, so we had to do a little bit of a video interview and I was terrified and I was just not going to do it because of it. So the fact that you didn't have to do that, I feel like I was cheated. I was so scared.
Well, you know what? When I first applied and then they sent through the link to do like the video bit, because for me that was like the second phase, I actually almost like just completely gave up because I stuffed up, like when I opened that link, I didn't realize it was like on a timer. So there was like a timer that you had to like do it in, and I stuffed up. Like I think I pressed like start or something, and then like I just froze and I was like, oh my God, it's like happening. And I was like, oh no. And then I remember like completely exited out of it and I was like, no, it's just not meant to be. And then there was that bit in me that was like, Jack, come on, like don't just like give up like this. Like, so then I remember I emailed like the person that originally like sent me the link for the video interview. And I was like, hey, like I've just had a little bit of a technical difficulty, even though like I literally just like froze. And luckily they actually sent me through another link to redo that video interview. Yeah, so what the video interview was though, it was like automated like questions that like came up on a screen. I think that was 3, maybe 5, I can't remember.
5, that's a lot.
Maybe it was 3, yeah, I think it was just 3. So there was like 3 questions and you kind of just had to answer them before the timer went out. So yeah, I did that round and then all went good from that. So yeah, I was up to round 3 now because this was like during COVID, it was all on Zoom. So my like kind of like open day, would you say?
Okay, yeah.
Or like assessment day?
Yeah, your interview.
Yeah. So it was like the group kind of assessment round. So yeah, it all happened on Zoom. So I think there was like 30 of us within this one call. And at the
that would have been so hectic.
It was, honestly. And I think some of them kept like cutting in and out and stuff. Like, I swear. It went for like, I think like 2 hours maybe actually.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
it was a bit lengthy a bit. But yeah, they pretty much did like a little presentation at the start of it. And then they broke you off into like little groups, like within like the Zoom call. Like I think it was called like rooms that you got put into. It was just random. Crazy, honestly.
So you couldn't hear anyone else?
No, nothing. So what they wanted you to do though was like do a like group activity, and like I think they were just kind of like observing how you all like worked together and like whatnot. And I forget what it actually was, but you had to like put something together to like present to everyone else. So yeah, after that we all went back into the call. We all like presented to one another, and then all was fun and games after that. So
did you have to do a one-on-one interview?
So then that was like the next round.
Okay.
So you didn't actually know. Yeah. So after that call, you didn't actually know if you had a one-on-one interview. You were waiting on an email to see if you had made it to the next round. I know, honestly. So yeah, luckily, I think a couple of days later, I got the email to invite me to the one-on-one interview, and I remember you had to like select a time. So yeah, I selected my time, went to the interview, and to be honest, like I actually had a really good experience in that one-on-one interview.
At Virgin, it was more like a conversation.
It was very, very casual, honestly. I remember we were literally talking about like Christmas, like for half of it, I swear. Like, yeah, it was around like November, end of November that time. Yeah, so.
Well, do you remember any of your interview questions?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I honestly forget, but they weren't anything that was like, nothing that I wouldn't expect to be asked in an interview. I remember like thinking like, they were just very like, oh, how would you like work in a team? Like, oh, like, what's an example where you've had to, you know, give feedback to like a co-worker or something? Like,
That's a good one.
I think there was just like little, very like generic kind of questions like that from memory, but yeah, nothing that kind of like threw me completely off guard or anything. Yeah.
They're pretty good with it, like teamwork.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, then after that, luckily made it, and then had to do my medical assessment, my swimming assessment, and was it? I think were the only two assessments you had to do.
Yeah, we don't do swimming assessments at Emirates.
See, that's something I'm jealous about. I swear, because you have to do it all on like your own, and I remember having to go to like my local swimming pool and like you had to print out this form. It was the most awkwardest thing ever. And I remember there was like all these other people at the pool, and I was like, oh, like it was just.
I remember asking the lifeguard.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need me to what? Time you like treading for
Honestly,
2 minutes or something?
Yeah, that was it. I
That
think
was
you had to
it.
do 50 meters, like swimming, I think, and then you had to like tread water for 2 minutes. I think that's
it was
what
so
it was.
awkward, him just sitting there like,
Oh.
okay, the timer's on.
Oh my gosh, honestly. I think that was the hardest part of the whole like application process. I'm not even joking, like.
My hardest part was definitely, when I applied for Virgin, was definitely the video at the start.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, what am I getting yourself into? I was like 19,
Oh,
you know, I
really?
was so
Yeah.
like, yeah, man.
Wow,
But it's a good experience.
It
to
was,
us,
yeah, definitely.
Do you miss it?
I do, like I really do. Like,
No, do you miss the interview?
oh, no. You know what? I actually miss ground school. I miss the training.
Yeah.
That was one thing that like I took for kind of like, I want to say like, I don't know, like.
I get what you mean for granted.
Yeah, for a bit. Like once I like started flying and stuff, like I remember being in like the training and being like, I can't wait to like this will all be over, and I'm like flying and stuff. And then it was kind of like, I reckon like the actual training, that was like the fun bit. Like that was really like.
It was, because you had like everyone that you knew, because you were with the same people every day.
Yeah, we still keep in touch every day almost. So.
Oh yeah. It's definitely the funnest part. I mean,
It is.
Our ground school in Virgin was like that. Everyone was. I ended up moving in with my friend. Like we
From
were.
ground
Yeah,
school?
we lived together when we started
Really?
flying. Yeah, and when we were studying too, like we were in the
Wow.
same interview, and then we got a place together. I know, it was
That
so
is
cute.
crazy, yeah.
And then so yeah, we'd have like sticky notes all over the house of like all the equipment and all the
gosh,
stuff. from
yeah.
that. It was so wholesome. It was so sweet.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
But my interview for Emirates
Yeah.
was a little bit different, but I did apply during COVID. So I had
Oh,
the same
yes.
sort of like initial kind of like interview process. I had to do the online application, which is on the careers page. You do the CV, do cover photos. We had to submit photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they want to see what you look
Oh,
like.
true, yeah.
And they want to see you look professional and just what they want to,
Yeah.
they can have a little geese.
Mm.
And then you have to do, I did a cover letter as well. And then I got sent an invitation for like a question, like kind of what you did. Like it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 questions and they're like automatic and then a timer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you could do like 2 takes. I think the maximum.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, because I like stuffed up the first one. I remember I was like, and I was like, oh no, and I just did the take, and I was like, oh thank goodness, I can do another take. Yeah.
No, because that's what I did in my interview, and I just quit out the whole thing. And that's when I was like, Jack, come on, don't give up like this. Come on, like.
Hey, you took initiative by email.
I did. I couldn't believe it, honestly.
Oh man, but yeah, like the questions were like, I remember it was like, tell us a time you exceeded someone's expectations, and it was like, tell us a time you got something implemented into your workplace, like a change.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And then I think the other one was like the same sort of thing, like how would you work in a team, or there was some other question that was like, how do you work with different cultures, or something like, because I think
okay.
obviously like Emirates is so multicultural and stuff like that. And then that was like October then when I applied, and I always get asked like how long the process takes, and it can take a while, but then it can also take really, really like small amount of time. It depends what Emirates needs. Like if they need you now, they'll ask for you now. So I had to wait from October till February because the borders of Australia were shut
True.
still.
Yes, yeah.
So that was when like they could come and actually do an assessment day and an interview. So they came and they did the assessment day, and you all rock up and you get like your height and you get your weight and everything. You go do the reach test, which is like 200.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't have to do this Virgin.
No.
You have to reach 212 centimeters because
really?
of the height being of the
Yeah.
lockers. Yeah, and you have to be on like flat feet.
Wow.
And then I know. So that's like the first thing they do, and then if you pass that, you go on to the next stage, and if you don't, then they send you home because they give you all like a number at the start of the interview,
okay.
and each person has a number, and then they call out they do the assessment for the round, and then they go back into a room and they wait and they call out the numbers for going home. Yeah, so it's like really it's like
yeah,
elimination
no, literally,
process.
I was about to say that actually. Oh my gosh.
And then you go into like a group interview, or I can't remember if we did the introduction first or the group interviews, but pretty much the group interviews were like, it's really interesting because there's no right or wrong answer. I'm telling you this, there's no right or wrong answer in the group interviews. They just want to hear you speak, and they want to hear you if you're confident, if you speak English really well, and pretty much it'll be like a photo. I remember there was this photo of this girl in like a pink dress and like looking at her friends like waving, and it was like, describe what do you see?
Really?
Yeah, it was
Honestly, that would throw me off guard.
I worked with someone that said that they didn't know what they were getting asked, so they just said, hi, this is, they said their name, and they just passed the photo. But hey, they got the job. So
that's good.
if you don't know the answer, just introduce yourself and say something.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't make sense, just they want to hear you speak. They want to hear what your interpretation is, I guess. And if you don't have an interpretation, well then that's fine too. Yeah. So there was these photos, and they tell you describe what you see. There was a lot more aviation kind of things in the group interviews compared to Virgin. There was nothing to do with aviation because they don't expect you to know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
I think Emirates expect you to know a little bit, because there was a photo of two girls, cabin crew, and they were handing out toys on board.
Oh, yeah.
And it was what do you see? And what are cabin crew duties? Something that I said was because it's a magic moment. I guess Emirates take pride in being excellent and something different and handing out the toys on board. If you had a flight with Emirates, they give the toys to the kids, and it makes such a difference for parents.
Yeah,
it just means it's just this little thing that we do, and it just makes.
I like the Polaroids. They're my favorite.
So sweet. It just makes everything so special. So if you could talk about the fact that the cabin crew duties is to make someone's journey really special, and if we do this by giving out the toys, this is really nice, and it's a part of something extra going above and beyond. And then you could even talk about, I think I talked about the teamwork, because you have to do it with someone else as well. So you have to be able to coordinate to do each side. But I know this now because I do it. But if you don't know this, here's a little hint. Basically, you have two crew and they're doing it together, and you have to work as a team because you have to make sure each kid gets a toy. So you do one side, they do the other side, and then you come together and be like, yep, have you done it all? Yeah. So teamwork and magic moment for sure.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't know the answers, you can always just say the cabin crew working together, they're giving out toys on board.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my name's Amanda. But the group interviews go a little like that. And after that, then they'll do again another round of eliminations, and then you do an English test. And it's really interesting because I'm from Australia, so I didn't really think twice about it. But I guess for some people it is a little bit tricky because it would have questions and it's a blank. It's you walk into the elevator, or you walk on the elevator, or you walk.
Oh, I see.
Behind the elevator.
Oh no, that would even throw me off though. I swear. I'm I have to think sorry. Dude, you know what? This actually reminds me. This is a little bit off topic, but one time I actually had to do an English test like this. I forget what it was for, but I didn't even know what the word meant in English. Do you know what the word quarrel?
Quarrel is a problem.
Yeah. I had no idea. I swear, I had no idea what the word quarrel meant. I was I have no idea.
Yeah, to be honest, sometimes I question my English.
I never forgot that.
Yeah, so, and then once you do the English test and you pass that, again, you'll get told, they'll read everyone's number out, and then you'll do the one-on-one interview, and that's the most nerve-wracking because you're just you and the interviewer. But lucky I felt very good because from Virgin, I was it's just a conversation.
Yes.
Speak from my mind, say some actual experiences that happen. It should be fine, right?
So did that all happen on the same day?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a huge day. Yeah, so it all happens on the same day, and you'll basically know if you go to the final interview, you obviously have a chance of getting the golden call. call is what they call it. And but then again, I know that there was like maybe 4 people that went into the final interviews on my day, and only 2 of us got called. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so they don't always call you. So, but I mean, obviously, if you don't get to the final interview, you don't get the job. So, you know, if you get all that way, it's a good chance that you've got yourself in a good position. And the final interview is just the same thing. It was like, why do you want to work for Emirates? It was like, you know, that sort of question. Like, why do you think you're best suited for the job, or stuff like that? Yeah. But it's definitely most nerve-wracking is the final interview. But once it's done, that whole day, it's such a good experience.
Yeah.
And even if you don't get it, this is my tip and my pointer. I would say go to an open day, or go do an assessment day, because you can reapply in 6 months, and it'll give you the practice you need to know what to do on the next one, that you'll actually get the job. So, and it doesn't put like a mark against your name or anything. Like if you don't get the job on the first interview, like on the first day, like it's fine. You can just do it again, and then a lot of people do that. A lot of people apply multiple times before they get the job. So
yeah, it's like the same at Virgin actually.
It's like it's not anything bad to do it a couple of times,
No.
and I think I would definitely, like, if I'd done it before, then I'd give myself time to prepare and know exactly what I need to know, and then nail it the next time. That's our little experience between what the difference before applying for Emirates and Virgin.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess during COVID as well, a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's all the same sort of stuff. So
Exactly.
if you do need any help or advice, just pop the questions you have in the comments below, and maybe we can do another little video. I don't know. If you want to know, let us know, and we hope you like it.
Yeah. Bye guys.
Bye.